Studio B. Two guys whose business cards simply say, I'll call you. It's the Bottom Line with your host DJ and KJ, asking tough questions, getting real answers, and sorting through it all to get to the bottom line. And sorting through it all to get to the bottom line.
Wednesday night, 8 o'clock, back in Studio B, kind of like the rain showers we've had the last couple of weeks, Ken. Been kind of hit or miss on those, and a little bit of hit and miss here on the bottom line with the summer schedules, things being not completely in order, so to speak, for any of us, but it's good to be back in here.
Yeah, it's good to be back. You know, I think just when they thought it was safe to go back in the water.
Oh, no. Still going to be a hot summer.
We're back again, that's for sure.
Back in Studio B, and we've had a lot of great guests in the last 15, 16 weeks, and I'm not sure that we've had a more fun group or energetic group than we have back with us tonight, back by popular demand, the Women2Women group, and of course have Ricky Nettles with the Prophecy MC group with us as well. Want to welcome all you ladies back. Ricky, good to have you back. You and I go way back. We may talk about that a little bit later, but good to have you ladies back with us again this week.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us, Dave.
Let's get right to it. A big weekend this Saturday down at the Sportsman's Club, a day for everybody to participate in the city of Bruton. I know that you ladies have gone a long ways towards getting a lot of activities lined up for us. Going to start with you, LaWanda. I think you were the president the last time we met. You haven't been overthrown in the last couple of weeks, have you?
They're trying to throw me out.
LaWanda, if you will, just kind of get us started here, and want to once again welcome those listening in. Want to ask you to
watching,
texting, whatever it is.
We it started out to be as everybody said, a radio show.
Yeah, and
it's morphed into more of a TV podcast. Awarded,
yeah,
the nationally awarded podcast.
That's exactly right.
14 episodes into it.
LaWanda, get us started on some of the activities we're going to have available to all of us this Saturday at the Sportsman's Park.
This Saturday we will have our family block party fun day.
Looking forward to it. What time's it start?
It's 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock till the sun go down.
Is this going to be one of those deals where you can you park on the outside area and walk in, or do you park there on the side at Sportsman's Park? What's going to be the best way to do it for people coming and going?
You'll be able to park in the parking lot and on the other side. The middle of the street between the playground and the parking lot will be blocked off.
Okay. 10 o'clock till sunset. There'll be something for everybody all day. Talk about some of the activities that will be going on down there.
The most important activity is the barbecue cook-off.
Did you see that? Did you see that posted on the Facebook page earlier today?
I missed it.
$500.
$500
to the winner of the barbecue cook-off. Am I right in saying that?
That's right.
I think there's 3 places. I think it was $500, $300, and $100 maybe, or something like that. 200, 100.
DJ, why don't we make us a pork sandwich and carry it down there and see if we can't win $500?
I'm thinking about going to Camp 31, getting some brisket, and setting up a little Weber grill with some hot coals on it, and just kind of enter that maybe and see how it does.
Yeah, there you go. I think you'd probably have a leg up on them.
Yeah.
Tell you what, the entry fee for the cook-off is $20. Could get you $500.
That's right. And you have until Friday at 7 o'clock p.m. to enter.
How do you enter?
Just contact one of the members of the Women2Women Social Club.
And all of y'all can be reached on Facebook. Everybody has a page on Facebook, so contact one of the Women2Women, and you're in. $20 gets you in.
At the ballpark tomorrow and Friday at 6 o'clock.
Where will the grills be set up?
On the inside, over there by the baseball field.
Over in the baseball field. Well, hopefully, the wind will be out of the east, and we can all get a good aroma of it back into town as we're kind of walking in or making our way down there. That'd be a nice treat.
And we're getting text already.
What would be your specialty? If you were, I know you're going to have to work, but if you could fire up the grill, what would you?
I would probably, I guess it maybe not so much traditional. I like pork steak on the grill.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're a fan of pork steak or not, but I like pork steak on the, and you can look at me and tell I like pork steak on the grill.
Anything that comes off.
Yeah. But I think pork steak is just fantastic on the grill. And you can do it a lot of different ways. And what would be yours?
Probably the brisket from Camp 31. I'm gonna stay with
Okay, is there a theme here, DJ?
I don't know. I like the brisket from Camp 31.
I think there's a theme that I'm catching here that maybe you're a brisket fan.
Yeah,
From Camp 31.
From Camp 31, I'm pretty partial
Adam
to it.
Manasco.
Oh yeah,
Manasco.
Absolutely.
If you're watching
Absolutely.
this, DJ is a fan of the brisket.
Tell you what, Adam, if you are, I'll put up the $20.
You'll pay it for the entry fee.
I'll put the $20, and we'll split the winnings 70-30.
Tell you what, we need to get Adam in here.
Right down the
one night.
middle, 70-30.
We need to get Adam in here one night and get him to bring some of that Q. And listen, we'll taste test it for him.
Absolutely.
And we'll do a kind of a not a cook off, but a taste test thing for him here.
Taste testing. Are we looking for any more judges for the barbecue cook-off?
Yeah, you want to be one.
I tell you what, with that much money on the line, I'd be scared to say who the winner and loser was. That could get pretty.
People's choice. You can buy you some tickets and go taste anybody's barbecue.
That's me. How much will the People's Choice tickets cost? We have any idea yet?
They want to say $5 and you get 6 tickets.
$5.
You get
$5?
some tickets.
$5 for 6.
For 6 tickets.
Wow. So you could get full off of $5.
Let me see. I'm trying to do the math here in my head. If Catman puts up $20, that'll get him 24 tickets. And the barbecue is going to be gone mighty early in the afternoon. I can tell you that. But that'll be good. That'll be good. We're kind of jumping around a little bit, like we always do in here. Let's talk about the different groups who are also a part of this. I know that you this was y'all's vision way back. We talked about it several months ago, but of course, like we've talked about, it takes everybody. Everybody has some talents. Everybody has resources. The more that we can kind of come together and do different things, it makes projects like this doable. Talk about the other groups that are
the whole community to come
absolutely,
together.
absolutely. Talk about some of the other groups that are helping us.
Well, I contacted Prophecy MC. They said no problem. Gentlemen clubs, no problem. Sprague, no problem.
Awesome. And then we also have one of the law firms from Birmingham that's helping as well.
Is donating school supplies and backpacks.
And the Sportsman's Club is a piece of.
The Club is in with us too.
And I think it's also important to mention that the city of Bruton, the officials were very cooperative in helping helping everybody get it together in terms of making it very easy. So it's so that's kind of a lot of different people coming in to make something happen for all of us to enjoy. If the weather will cooperate, I see no reason why it can't be an outstanding day for all.
I do too. I want to kind of touch on. I know we always bounce around, so there's really no script here. I know you got one kind of halfway wrote out over there on a piece of paper, but the first time that you ladies came in and sat down, y'all really have done a lot of things since then. Let's talk about some of the things that y'all accomplished and things that you've done since when you first came in, and because I've seen a lot of stuff on Facebook and heard a lot of great things going on with the Women2Women group.
Like you said, we started out in April and we've been going since. If anybody call us, we try to be there. One of the things, our biggest thing today, we was on Channel 12 News.
How about that? How'd that go?
It was good. It was really.
Do you represent?
Kelly Jones, yes.
Yes.
It was short, sweet. It was like a quick run. We didn't get to do a lot of stuff that we had planned on doing, but we got a lot of information across to her.
Yeah, we can shout out to everybody.
Yeah. And then airing tomorrow at 12:30. WPMI.
Yeah. I know y'all had a successful kickball.
Yes, we have great kickball.
I guess a series or a season.
Kickball summer league.
Yeah, summer league kickball.
Yes.
I saw a lot of good pictures that people had taken from that. It looked like y'all had a good turnout and a lot of things going on down there.
And the kids enjoyed it. It was something that we was used to. When we grew up, it was like softball at the ballpark.
Right.
But we did the kickball, and the kids enjoyed it. We had the concession stand open, and they enjoyed it.
How many kids did you have involved in that?
Oh, we had
Roughly.
Probably about 75.
Wow.
It started out slow, but every week it just added. Every week.
I think it's so important to keep them involved in activities, especially wholesome activities like that. Give them a social setting, some structure. Yeah. It keeps them off from doing things that maybe they shouldn't be doing. Because when kids, it doesn't matter who they are. If you have idle time and you get a little bored, sometimes those young minds tend to stray. Mine certainly did. A lot of broken windows in my neighborhood back in the day because of it. I can promise you.
A lot of toilet paper got plastered, a lot of trees.
I also saw back during the summer on Facebook, and y'all may have done it several times, but I thought I saw where y'all were involved in a work party at the Fisher Center. helping with some of the rooms in terms of getting them refurbed. I saw that.
Yes.
So y'all have, and we talked about it when they left here the first time. Yeah. You could see the passion, you could see the excitement in all of your eyes and hear it in your voices. It wasn't just a club to necessarily get a T-shirt, although we talked about the T-shirts. I love them. Still don't have mine, but I love the purple.
We do.
But, I mean, you gals have really kind of taken this thing and ran with it and have been a big inspiration to not only the younger people of the community, to myself as well. And Ken and I have talked about it regularly, the good things that y'all are doing, the Prophecy MC, the different groups that are kind of in and around town that are all in our kind of age group, peer group. And it's just nice to see everybody giving something back and trying to help make this thing run a little better for everybody.
I also understand from Molly texted in, said that y'all took a group of kids to the beach, and somebody about almost got wiped out in a wave is what I'm reading here.
Yeah, Nikki rolled over a couple times.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But I mean that's the thing, y'all. When y'all were here back in, I guess it was April. Well, right around that time, y'all said y'all were about to get busy, and y'all did. Yeah. Sound like y'all been busy all summer.
Yes.
I don't think it's just been a week here, a week there, unlike us with this show. But there again, that was the whole point of this show, was just to come and support the community when we could, and when we needed to, and we thought. Listen, what better thing with this big event coming up this weekend than to have everybody come back in and talk about it and the things that's going to happen. And it sounds like it's going to be a great event.
I want to bring in one of my good friends and schoolmates, Ricky Nettles. He's with the Prophecy MC Club, and they've been around a little longer than the Women2Women. Have done some good things in the community down through the years. I've seen some of the activities that you guys have supported and put on yourselves, and one of the things I want to talk about, Ricky, and we talked about it with the ladies back in April, the volunteerism, kind of a movement or a effort that has gone away in a lot of communities, and it's really the fiber of our community that makes things go around in terms of all these extra things. I think it's very important to note that all of y'all's efforts have been completely voluntary. Everybody has jobs, everybody has families, yet you choose to create some time, to find some time to do things not only for your families, but also others that were done for us when we were growing up. We talked about some of the many volunteers that were important to us coming up, and I thank you for what you've done. I sat in over at Aaron Watson had a banquet and offered some scholarships, and I think he does that pretty regularly, and you guys played a part in that. Talk a little bit about what the Prophecy MC does and how long y'all have been around.
Well, we actually started in 2010, and when we first came together, it was mainly just to do more than just ride motorcycles. Because I know some motorcycle clubs get a bad reputation, and we definitely want to get as far away from that stereotype as possible. So we're a community-based motorcycle club, and I think everybody knows that now. And we focus a lot on doing community service, and that's our foundation. We enjoy riding motorcycles and things like that, but we also enjoy doing our community service. And community service is not always about donating money.
Sure.
It's not always about that.
That's a great point.
A lot of times it's about your time, because you can't pay people for their time. Just like with these young ladies, when they asked us about helping coach the kickball, we were like, sure, we'll try it. And we had as much fun as the kids did. Just watching the future grow up and being around the future, because those kids are the future, and it was just a joy for us. But being part of a motorcycle club, we ride, we do things like that, but we also, most of us still have kids, so that makes us understanding about what kids need, and kids need something to do, and that's why we always try to stay focused on mainly the kids. We do things for adults. We have done like Adopt a Street, stuff like that, and clean up streets and clean up elderly people's yards.
I've seen that where y'all have helped in some of the older folks' yards, and
we've done things like that.
If it doesn't get done by groups like yours, then they go without.
They go
plain and simple. A lot of them don't have family or immediate family in the area that can come over and help with those things, and I just think once again it's a tremendous compliment to your group in that instance, and of course the group here just wanting to do that. Not everybody wants to do it, but you can kind of see a little momentum building here where more people are wanting to get involved and do their little thing. And if everybody does a little bit, it makes a big difference. One of the things that I always say, I'm in the recreation side of it, a good bit on the volunteer side of it, and this much doesn't yield this much. This much will yield this much. If you'll just give a little effort and open your heart up a little bit, some great things can happen. But all of you are to be commended. And I want to say this before we go any further. When Women2Women reached out to Ricky's group, I've known Ricky Nettles, I guess our whole lives, at least up to school ages, 8 or 9 anyway.
Oh, yeah.
And there's not a finer person in our community than Ricky Nettles. And when you said that y'all went to them and asked if they could help, there was no doubt what that answer was going to be. If you say the words help and children, Ricky Nettles is in.
That's right.
He's always been that way. He was probably the best acting 9-year-old I've ever seen. I never remember Ricky Nettles ever being in trouble for anything. For anything. And we have the same barber. We're sporting the same haircut these days, but back in the day, Ricky Nettles would run your tail over on that football field. Trust me. And it wasn't because Forrest Lewis was blocking for him.
Right.
That very rarely happened.
Right.
Ricky, talk a little bit about the pink uniforms that the group was able to help with the girls' basketball team a few years back.
That was something we enjoyed doing. Once again, that's our future. And our business manager, Philip Jackson, and he approaches us with really great ideas, and he stays on top of us.
I didn't know y'all did that.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all did the pink basketball uniforms for the Lady Tigers?
Yes, so we were involved in that also.
Wow.
And
I didn't know that.
Some things we do sort of, I guess, like a silent partner.
Yeah, under the radar.
Because it's really not always about.
Right.
We want the recognition.
Sure.
It's not always about that. But a lot of times we do things behind the scenes that some people don't know about, like when the softball team from East Bruton, I think a week
went
ago,
to the Southwestern Regionals.
Yeah, they went to the regionals, and we made a substantial donation
Awesome.
for them to do that. And
Awesome.
a lot of people don't know that, but it really doesn't matter.
And it's an experience those young ladies wouldn't have had if it hadn't been from the support of the community.
Oh, yeah.
And they had earned the right. It wasn't like they were given something. They went and won a tournament to qualify for it.
Yes.
And the fact that our communities and the different groups helped support that was awesome. That's a trip they'll never forget. And you never know when the light switch is going to come on for a young person in terms of seeing community involvement, community support. I know they enjoyed had a great weekend, and that's awesome that y'all were a part of that. I didn't know that either.
Yeah,
awesome.
We do quite a bit of, like I said, behind the scenes community service, but we enjoy it though. Just like most of the guys in our club grew up in single parent homes, and that's why we lean more towards the kids, because we know what it's like to not have a father. Speaking for myself also,
sure.
We know what it's like to grow up in a single parent home, because you're missing out on something. So that's why we as men, try to cater to the kids and be some type of a father figure to them. And the kids, they're so sweet. They are sweet. And they'll stick to you and get to know you, and it's a good feeling knowing that you made a difference.
Absolutely. How awesome is that?
And again, I think Ricky said it best. I mean, it's not about the recognition.
No.
It's not about the accolades and all this. It's about doing it because you want to help the community move forward. If you're looking in the rearview mirror all the time, you can never move forward.
That's right.
And I think that we, all of us, and I'm not talking about this room, but just as a community, I think sometimes we all get kind of guilty of looking in the rearview mirror when we all should be looking forward, like you ladies are doing this weekend with the block party, and that's a tremendous thing. You think about it. I think to make it a family day, to all about the families, to wanting the families to come out and participate. That is, that's what it should be about, because as Ricky just said, a lot of us grew up in different family situations and may have come from, certain situations that may have been better than others or not as good as others. But, those days are a lot of fun to come out and see and have a good time. I remember as a young kid going over to the old Fort Crawford in East Bruton to watch the old fireworks show that they would have down at the, at the old park, where they had the nature trail and all this kind of thing. And things. And of course, we talked about when you ladies were here before. We had wheels and thrills. You know, the skating rink. We had the bowling alley.
Right.
We had the Ritz Theater. You know, there was we had things to do. You know, but of course, you know, we were all guilty of piling up at the high school some, and you know that kind of thing too on the weekend. But
Yeah, we ain't take advantage of it like we should.
right. But you know, we still had those things to do, and as this community has progressed through the years, you know, things for the younger folks, younger people have definitely have gotten a lot more limited than what they used to be. So I commend you guys for doing what you're doing, especially you know, the Fisher Center as a you know, doing what you've done. I've been in there and seen some of the stuff that's went on there. And have you been in there lately?
I haven't been in. I went in.
I mean, we all went to school there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But well, if you went in there now and seen some of the stuff, I mean, I was amazed.
I went in last fall, and they were in the process. I think New Beginnings was going to paint the old lunchroom. That they were trying to get the lunchroom refinished and maybe get some equipment in there to get to the point where they could.
Oh, the lunchroom look awesome now.
That's what I was about to say. It does. But wasn't that lunchroom a lot bigger when we were?
It seemed like it was.
It seemed like it was.
I
thought that lunchroom was a lot bigger back when I was in the middle school. But when I walked in there that day, I was like, this place ain't near as big as I thought it was. But no, they've done a lot of work over there, and I think there's a lot more work that they're going to do. So. I think it's a tremendous thing that y'all have been able to do. Providing activities over the summer. Of course, we kind of, I guess, what school starts back, was it the
August 10th? I think.
Yeah. So won't be long.
And correct me if I'm wrong here. Didn't school start after Labor Day?
Yes.
At one time
when we were in school,
I remember Labor Day being part of the summer. I think you may have gone that Friday before that Monday for a half a day or something, or to get your schedule, and then you had Labor Day off, and then you came back and you started.
But guess what? That week of Labor Day, there was a football game that Friday night.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
And things just
August 10th.
August 10th. I don't know. Maybe they got to go to school longer now for some reason. I'm not real sure. I know one thing. I know we're getting blown up with text messages over here. Why don't we take a short break here, DJ, and
can we hook us up with the same music taking us to the break? Or
I don't know if we need to do that or not.
That's a little teaser?
Yeah, maybe in a little bit. Maybe we come back to that in a minute. We were doing a little something crazy earlier, and I don't, anyway. So we'll be back.
Back in Studio B with Women2Women and Ricky Nettles from the Prophecy MC Motorcycle Club. Once again, glad to have everybody here. Big event Saturday, family fun day down at Sportsman's Park. Festivities start at 10:30.
That's right.
Going to go till sunset. If you're looking to have a good time, that's going to be the place to be Saturday here in the greater Bruton area. So come out and support.
We had to get it ready.
Getting it ready.
We hadn't been able to do that. Just yet.
Interesting little tidbit. This came across.
Came across the wire.
Yeah, came across the wire.
We had a little news flash here.
And LaWanda, you didn't say this earlier. There's a Dunkin' booth.
Yes.
A Dunkin' booth's going to be down there as part of the activities, and understand there might be some interesting folks getting up on the stage. I know Ricky's going to be one of them. Looking forward to seeing Big Rick up there. Who are some of the other folks we might can look forward to seeing?
From each club supposed to get in. So me, myself, I'll be in.
Shonda, you going up there too?
No,
you going too?
I'm dunking her.
Who would that be? Who are some of the presidents? Do we know? Do we have that on
Kenny Garvin from the Gentleman Club.
Okay. Who about from Sprague?
Antonio Smith for
That's Brim.
For the
Yeah.
Sportsman Club.
Joe get into it.
Yeah, Joe Watson.
City Councilman.
Joe Watts is getting in.
Yep.
How much does it cost to throw a ball?
$1, you get 3 balls.
$1 for 3 balls.
I'll tell you what, the barbecue tickets are $5. You can go down there with a $10 bill and have a heck of a time.
I'm coming for lunch.
A heck of a time.
But will one of y'all text me and let me know when Joe Watts is going to be in the Dunkin' booth, please? Joe, listen, I can't throw, but I'm coming down there, buddy, if you listen. I'm coming to see you.
If you miss your throws, you can just go up there and hit it with your hand.
Yeah, that's right.
It's for the kids. It's for the kids. All for the
For a
kids.
good cause.
Is the chief of police going to be in there?
Supposed to. That's what Yank said.
Well, let's call him out. Chief of police.
Hey, Chief McGugan, we were told that you're going to be in the Dunkin' booth Saturday. We have also instructed the ladies to lower the cage if that is the case. So you better have your face mask on and get ready. Mayor Lovelace is going to be in the Dunkin' booth as well.
Yes, he is.
Wow.
Thank you, Mayor Lovelace.
So it sounds like we've got a pretty good lineup of Dunkin' booth. I guess people to what do you call those? I don't know what to call them.
Pigeons.
Yeah.
Pigeons. That's what they are.
Yeah. That's exactly. I can't get it. There it is.
There it is.
Yeah. Pigeons. That's right. That's good. But I can't wait to see that. Are you going? Please tell me you're going to have a lot of video and a lot of that kind of stuff.
Yes.
We definitely want to have some of that footage to play on this show because I would love to have Chief McGugan and Councilman Watson and any more city councilmen coming to get in the Dunkin' booth.
No.
Did you ask? Y'all ask?
Yeah. We also asked Kitty Brazil.
Chief Brazil.
Yeah,
what did he say?
That he was scared of water.
Oh, come on now.
Yeah. But he will have some officers over. East Bruton will have some officers over along with Bruton officers. They're going to do the Running Man Challenge with the kids.
Okay.
So that's
awesome.
fun for them.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, and Jeff Salter,
Yeah, fire chief.
Fire chief.
he's one of our judges for the
Okay.
barbecue.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Awesome.
we have the trucks out there. East Bruton's going to bring their fire truck also. You know, it's older
Yeah.
than Bruton's truck, so I thought it'd be fun for them to see that one.
And this is not a one and done. This is going to be a yearly event. I mean, this is kind of going to get things started. Looking forward to adding to it over the
We
years,
want
but
everybody to come in.
Yeah.
Anybody that can help us.
it's going to be a great day. We got face painting. There's going to be a water slide there.
We have the cakewalk,
The cakewalk.
homemade cakes.
All homemade cakes.
I'll tell you.
Oh man.
How much does that cost?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, you go down to the $10 bill, man. You go to the $10 bill.
Are y'all gonna have any of those little chocolate layered, them little bitty layered chocolate
Seven
cake?
layer.
Oh man.
Yeah, my auntie
I'll tell you
did one
what.
with that.
I'm gonna go ahead and stamp it.
Listen,
This is a can't miss event. Saturday.
don't miss this event Saturday.
And I never want to hear anybody say there's nothing to do in Bruton.
No,
Right.
no.
I mean, $10. And you can go
$10?
down there and live like a king.
Yeah.
Put some people in the water, play a little kickball.
I am
You can-
all
Set
man.
your own tent up, bring your own grill, cook your family own food.
Wow.
Listen. But how much did you say it was for the ticket to eat all the bar to taste? Was it 6? You get how many
You get
tickets?
Six tickets for $5.
For $5.
And you can taste the barbecue.
Can we do it again next Saturday? I mean, is that out of the question? I mean, I don't want to take it off the table. I mean,
If they did that every Saturday, they'd put all. But listen, Camp 31 would call us and what we're doing promoting all this. I mean,
cakewalk.
Wow.
Is there an age limit to participate in the cakewalk? I don't know. I know it's about the kids, but it's about me getting my eat on, too. I mean, I see a German chocolate cake or one of these 7-layer cakes. Watch out, kid.
Well, when you talk about 7-layer chocolate cake with that icing that you take your finger and run around the edge of the cake, good gracious, man.
Yellow cake with chocolate icing.
That's what I'm talking about. Yes. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean,
not boxed, homemade.
the real deal.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I don't know what time all that's going on, but make it around lunchtime, and we're coming to eat lunch there. We're definitely coming to get lunch from there. I can promise you that. Yeah, I got plenty of people on Saturday that want to eat, and about 11 o'clock we start hollering, where we eating at today? Well, I know where we're eating at this Saturday. I can promise you that.
No question about it.
No question. So let's talk about. We talked about a little bit earlier. Who's DJing? I know you told us who it was, but let's let everybody know who it is.
DJ Gump and DJ Larry Love.
They're going to be spinning the
All
ones
day.
and twos.
We hoping all the DJs can come and participate.
The best one's sitting right
Are they
here.
going to have... No.
After the show, just stay and let him sample you just a little bit. Rick, I know you'll like it.
Listen,
I know you'll like it.
Are they going to be? Are they going to have are they going to be doing a battle down there, or
They're just going to be playing the music.
If you want to turn back the clock, you can put
Just
him down at the
spin it
hall.
up.
Put him down at the hall and tell him to plug up and go, and tell Gerald just to watch out.
Take notes.
man, you trying to get me in trouble, man?
Yeah, I am.
Big G, if you listen to this, man, he ain't trying to do all that now. I'm telling you.
And we need you, Big G. Come on out Saturday.
Yeah, Big G, you hear what they said? They need you. Listen, we getting another text in. DJ, this is your classmate, Althea.
Okay.
These ladies.
She's actually a lot older than me. I was a little boy when she was in school. I know her well, and I always respect my elders.
Well, she wanted to say these ladies are doing an awesome job. Is what
There's no question about that.
In.
Thank you, Marie.
Thank you for your comment for sure. They are doing an awesome job. So, when you go approach the Prophecy MC, the motorcycle club, of course, it's not like Ricky said, it's not like a motorcycle club when you think about riding around with guns and knives and them terrorizing towns and things. But these guys, when you come and approach these guys to do things, that's what it's all about, is getting everybody involved to do and make these kinds of things happen. But are we going to have a bunch of motorcycles to look at down there Saturday, Ricky? I mean, what's the story there?
We should have some. I'll definitely have mine. And I'm off this weekend too, so it was a must do for me. But yeah, our guys, they'll have their motorcycles, and I'm sure Gentleman MC, I'm sure they'll have their motorcycles. It should be some motorcycles, and hey, they issue out some bike rides.
There you go.
There you go.
Hey, there you
Kids
go.
will enjoy that. They always do.
Is there any chance of making my good friend B-Dog the honorary master of ceremonies?
I'm
Or
sure
Marshall?
Gonna be live. He probably take over the Running Man.
No limit. That's the last thing I heard him say.
His studio
No
be out.
We'll let him bless the food.
That could be interesting. Let's shift gears just a little bit.
We got one text real quick. LaShonda, they want you to elaborate on the police leading the Running Man challenge. Seemed like a really fun idea.
Well, it's been all over the news that, some cities has been showing videos of the police out doing the Running Man challenge with the kids. So we've put up, the kids are out on the softball field actually playing kickball, and the officers and the firemen are going to be out there also. So one of the kids going to accidentally hit one of the officers with the kickball, and everybody's just going to run, and then all of a sudden the music come on, and they just.
That's going to be awesome. What time is there a time set aside for that, or you just got to be there to?
You just got to be.
Got to be there.
Yeah.
You got to be
good.
present.
Got to be present.
Right.
Got to be present.
That'll be awesome.
So if you don't get out there, you'll miss it, but I'm sure you'll see it on video.
Let's transition just a little bit, and this is kind of a good thing to take us in there, talking about law enforcement and whatnot. And all of us are familiar with what's going on across this country. A lot of communities are hurting. I mean, there's some things where some terrible things have happened, some tragedies happened, and I think we all share the same sentiment. We don't want it to happen here.
Right.
Right.
Whatever we have to do to keep that from happening, I think is very important, and I think more people than not are willing to do what they have to do to make sure it doesn't. But I also think it's important to talk about, if you don't acknowledge it, then it can happen. You know, one of the problems I have, and I think Ricky would agree with me, I'm certainly not speaking for him, for some reason, we've kind of morphed into a community across this country where people don't want to talk about things. Mm-hmm. You know, and when we started this show, one of the things we talked about, I guess it was our unofficial mission statement, is we don't always have to agree, but we can certainly be respectful.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And, you know, if we have differences, if we have varying opinions on whatever the subject matter may be, the more we talk about it, the better opportunity we're going to have to find common ground. Mm-hmm. I think reasonable people can find that common ground. May not do it, you know, at the first meeting or the first discussion. May not do it the second. But if your heart's in the right place and you open it up a little bit, I think common ground can be found. And I see that kind of happening. And I'm not going to sell it short that y'all may be the ones to help facilitate it. I would like to see a very diverse crowd down there Saturday. Right. To be perfectly honest with you, yeah. My personal opinion is if just one part of our community is down there, then it's not the event that it should be.
That's right.
Somehow, some way, we have to understand to communicate or find a way to communicate and enjoy each other's company, and also keep in the back of our mind that we're not going to agree. Ken and I don't agree on everything. Mm-hmm. No. Whether it's at work, whether it's here, whatever it is, we don't agree on everything. We're not going to agree on everything. Mm-hmm. But our hearts need to be in the right place, and we have to be willing to have discussion about it. And I think that's important. And I think that's how, as a community, you can stay away from some of the things that are happening in other parts of the country. Right. I'd like to hear some of y'all's views on that. And if you disagree with it, that's fine too. That's what we just talked about. Ricky, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, my thoughts, and I'm going to speak for Prophecy. Anytime, and we've been a club, it'll be 6 years in October. And anytime we have ever needed anything from the Bruton Police Department, no problem. You know, that sometimes they'll, like we have our anniversary party in October, and, you know, and we have it at the Bruton Civic Center. And, you know, you have to have a police officer there. And anytime we ask the police officer, no problem. You know, like we had a ride one year, and called the Bruton Police Department, no problem. And they actually had a funeral going on that day. And they contacted us and said, hey, we're not going to be able to go the route that we had decided on in the beginning. We're going to have to find a different route.
I think it's important you said ride, like a motorcycle ride, not riot.
Right.
Because, I mean, that it was not a ride, it was a ride, a motorcycle ride. And they worked with you. And
actually it was us and the Gentleman Club. And we rode all the way to Evergreen, rode the interstate, you know, and it was pretty nice seeing 20 motorcycles all perfectly aligned.
Sure.
And the Bruton Police Department, they led us right on out of town and told us whenever we get ready to come back in town to call them back. And when we told them, you know, hey, we'll be back in Bruton in 15 minutes, they met us up at Whataburger and escorted us right on back in town. And Bruton Police Department, they've been good to us in understanding about this, and this is free. It's kind of like community service in a way, because it's free. It's no, hey, we're going to charge you for this, well, you can't do that and you can't do this. I mean, they've been very understanding with us, and as far as we're concerned, we have no complaints.
Shonda, what about you? And not necessarily on the local level, but like when you watch the TV and you see some of the things that are going on, whether it's in Baton Rouge or wherever it may be, what kind of comes to what comes into your heart and your mind when you see those things happening, and what can be done to help ensure that those things don't happen here?
Well, looking back at all the things that's been happening, is really just, it's devastating to me as a black woman, and seeing all the black guys being killed by cops. But here in Bruton, I do believe that our officers are more into us. You know, everybody either graduated together, went to some form of school together, and I don't think it'll get to that point, and I pray that it don't get to that point here. Brock Holt, I think Brock is awesome. You know, anytime we've needed it, or me myself personally needed anything from Brock, he always stepped up to the plate. And no matter what goes on anywhere else, I just don't believe it'll happen here, because everybody know each other. I mean,
this again is about opinions, but to me, it's about a respect.
That's right.
You know, and when you see these things going on in other communities all over the country, you know, the first thing that hits my mind is that people just don't seem to have a mutual respect for number one, for each other. Number two, for you know, with the things that you see for just life in general, you know, and I agree with you, LaShonda, that you know, we've all went to school with a lot of the officers here, and you know, grown up in this community with them and know them, you know, and I think that, you know, they do a lot. I made this analogy the other day to somebody, and I really believe this. I don't care what line of work that somebody's in. I don't care if you work at the paper mill, or if you're a firefighter, or if you're a taxi cab driver, if you're a whatever. You know, there's always a couple of bad apples in every profession, and I'm not talking locally. I mean just, you know, nationally. There's always a couple of bad apples in every profession, but it doesn't make every one of those people bad people. You know, and I think our country as a whole kind of, you know, has lost our way on that. And let's be honest too. Every time you turn the TV on, there's no good news.
Correct.
What you ladies are doing this weekend is great news. It ought to be publicized everywhere, but it doesn't. You know, you hear, well, you know, the only thing that sells is chaos. Well, you know what? If that's what you put on TV 7 days a week, 24 hours a day for our young people to see, guess what they think the norm is? They think it's okay to walk into school and shoot it up. Or not respect the elders, or this or that, the other. You know, I mean, I've you know, we all, you know, kind of close to the same age. I've got to the age where people say, you know, they say yes sir to me, and I turn around, I'm looking for my daddy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and I'm like, you know, that's hard. But the thing is, it's just about respect, and I think that if we all can respect each other's opinions. Respect each. If we don't agree, that's fine, but we can still respect each other. You know, we can still get along. And our country, you know, was we went a long way with that kind of attitude, and it just seems like that. You know, if you want to blame, I blame the 24-hour news media, because it's just in your face every day, all day. You know, I mean, think of all the good that goes on you never hear about.
Well, I'm going to play on the heels of, and you just brought it up, and I believe this. I think there's an agenda, you know, a nationally driven agenda with the different news agencies to divide the people.
Sure.
Like you said, there's no question in my mind that's what it is. And I want to go back. We were talking about the law enforcement, and this is my opinion. If there's a different opinion in the room, I'd love to hear it. I mean, we talked about having a discussion. I think at the very least, law enforcement officials have a very demanding job. I think that's a tough job to perform day in and day out, with the anxiety, the pressures, the danger that can be there. Not necessarily in a community our size where there are some personal relationships, you know, throughout the communities, but there's a lot of anxiety. I mean, it's no secret that I think the depression rate, the suicide rate among police officers is the highest of any profession in our country. And I think as a community, and I'm not justifying anybody doing anything wrong or violating anybody's civil rights. I'm not for that. If something happened to Pete Brand, I would be just as upset if they happened to Brock Holt or Josh Stanley or anybody else. I could care less about the skin color. Right is right and wrong is wrong.
Right.
But I don't think as a community, anybody can pick and choose when you're going to obey the law.
That's right.
I mean, there has to be law and order. Without law and order, you have anarchy. You have complete anarchy. I've seen the movies that have come out and hadn't had a chance to watch both of them, but Purge.
The Purge.
Purge. I mean, that's what it turns into.
Look at that.
That's what it turns into.
One day a year, they decide to let people just go wild. I mean, what kind of, you know, that's crazy.
And you were going back to the media, and how divisive they can be. And there was a lot of people when we started this that thought that we were going to fall in line with that. And our mission statement, you know, we didn't put it out there. We talked about it privately. Our hope was to bring everybody together, to promote the good things that go on, not only in our community, but the surrounding area. And I think there's some tangible evidence in our community that has taken place. I'm certainly not sitting here saying that Ken and I should be patted on the back, and it comes down to personal choices. But when people see groups like y'all doing the things that y'all do, I had no idea y'all bought the basketball uniforms for the girls or were a part of that. My niece plays on it. A lot of my friends' daughters play on it. But that's an incredible gesture that deserves promotion, whether the group doing it wants it or not. I mean, that's a heck of a gesture that you would make that contribution so others have what they wouldn't have otherwise. And
in the age of social media, that should be known.
It should be known.
It should be known. But the thing is, it's just like what we're talking about. But the only thing that people want to promote is the bad things. And I'm not talking about just uniforms or I mean any of the good things that go on in our city. We should promote it and talk about the good things more instead of studying all about the bad. Because that's what we see it. I mean, we hear bad. Listen, I call it instant gratification society. We talk about this a lot. If you want anything, you pick your phone up, you can find it. It doesn't take long. I mean, it just doesn't. So
we were talking about it the other day. It's gotten to the point, in my opinion, once again, this is my opinion, I'm speaking for me. It's gotten to the point now that you really don't know what the facts are because everybody has an angle. Everybody has their motivation. They put out there what they want you to see. They present it as fact. They present it, they'll show you videos of this, videos of that. And then somebody shows a video of something that happened 2 minutes earlier that you didn't see on the first one, and you're starting to figure out what really happened. Right. I mean, I want somebody just to give me the straight facts of what happened.
The bottom line.
The bottom line. Let's get to the bottom line, and I can make my own mind up. I consider myself a rational person, certainly a reasonable person, but there are so many people out there with an agenda to divide our communities, and I believe that. I believe that's happening on a daily basis, and I want us in Bruton to be above it because it would not be as a pleasurable experience as it has been for me growing up here without everybody. I mean, I have tremendous friends throughout this community. It's not just about Belleville, it's about the bottom. It ain't just about Alexander Heights, it's about the Hill. I mean, it's everywhere. And I'm looking forward to Saturday. I'm encouraging everybody to at least spend a part of their day down there. I'll go ahead and tell you, I don't know if I can make it till sunset, but I'm going to be down there for a portion of it. I can promise you that.
I want to ask a question, and I noticed this, but in this cook-off, are there wings involved? Because if I hear Randy Nicholson's going to have his wings down there, man, I don't know if you ever had any Big Nick's wings. Man, I'm going to tell you something.
I've had it.
Don't get the hot ones.
Don't get the hot ones.
Let me tell you something, man. You better get you a bucket of milk if you get them hot ones because they hot now. I mean, I'm going to tell you, best lemonade you'll ever drink. Great wings, and I'm telling the truth about it, but I didn't know if y'all gonna have that kind of thing or not. Listen, Jay Hardy texted in and said, "I love you, women to women."
We love
Thank you, Jay.
Yep, and I guess this one is to Rick. Hi, Daddy, baby girl.
Oh man,
that's
I recognize her.
So I'll just have to call it like it is, and I'll tell you what, we got about 10 minutes to the, what do they call it, the top of the hour?
The bottom of the hour.
Or the bottom?
Yeah, get to the bottom. Or the top, however you want to look at it.
Whatever. Tell you what, let's do. Let's take us another break. When we come back, we're getting blown up over here on text messages about the local elections.
Yeah, we'll get into it.
Let's talk a little bit about the local elections when we come back. And if you once again, that's somebody, people got strong opinions on that type of thing. And, we'll find out what's going on when we get back here in just a few minutes.
back in Studio B with Women to Women and Prophecy MC. Ricky Nettles here holding it down for Prophecy MC. Once again, I've had a good discussion here tonight, talked about a lot of things. The headline has been the Family Fun Weekend this Saturday down at Sportsman's Park, starting at 10:30 till sunset. There's literally something for everybody to participate in. Doesn't matter your age, come one, come all. Looking forward to a great community day at the Sportsman's Park this Saturday, 10:30 till sunset.
We got the poster up.
Yeah.
Look at there. Yeah. There we go. It's up.
You like that?
Nice.
Love it.
Look at that.
Wow.
Who did the poster? Who does
Kato.
that? Kato. There you go.
Whoever did that did a great job. It looks great. Now, is that all of the Women to Women?
Yeah.
The whole
We
group?
had a new member to join. We had one to leave and we had one to join.
Y'all's number's 9 or 10?
9.
9, yeah.
Okay. Now, are you only want 9 members, or is it? I mean, are y'all open to new members, or what's the story there? If I brought up a bad,
I think right now it's just 9.
I mean, because we had people wanting to join now. We just taking it slow. One member at a time.
There you go.
Hey, that's right. Well, you know what? Because you want to make sure if they're going to get in there, they're going to fit.
That's right.
That's right. So let's talk about the text that we've been getting all night during this show.
There's no way we can let this opportunity pass.
We cannot let it pass.
We're not asking for endorsements at this point, but there's no secret if you ride through town that it is a political season. There are political signs in almost every yard in town, it seems like, certainly in every community. A lot of great races. I think number one, it's important to recognize there's multiple people running for every office. That's good. People have choices.
Let me say this. We had one thing, just text come in. Thanks, Women to Women, for extending an invitation to Minnie and Mickey's Party Time Rentals to participate in this awesome event.
Thank you.
Sorry, I interrupted.
No, you're good.
But I thought
that was worthy. Definitely worthy.
But yeah, let's talk about the local races.
I think it's great to have choices, and I'm encouraged that there's multiple people for all the city council seats, mayor. When you don't have choices, I think is when you run into troubles of community. You ought to be able to have to toe the line at some point and say, here's what's important to me. Here's some things I'd like to achieve, and they ought to be held accountable, whoever those people are. I want to kind of go around the room a little bit if we can, and Ricky, once again, not asking you to necessarily endorse any of the candidates at this point. If you want to, that's your choice. But what are some of the things that are important to you? Some of the things that you're looking forward to hearing from the different candidates in the different races.
Actually, we're supposed to be getting Mr. Lovelace to come by our clubhouse fairly soon and let him sit down, and talk to our club personally. And, we're going to express our views and concerns with him, and hopefully we can get Mr. Naughty also to come. But I think as a whole, we're basically looking at things to do for our youth. Because I think maybe a year ago, we were kind of rumoring about getting a water park.
Right.
And that would be huge for Bruton. And we don't have it yet. Hopefully one day we will, but that's probably going to be our first question. It's something to do for the kids, a water park or something.
At least a city pool.
A city pool.
When we were all kids, there were
3 of them.
3 city pools, I think. There was one at the college. Wasn't there one at the college? There was one behind the fire department and in the middle school.
Well, 4. JD had a pool.
Yeah. That was the third one I was talking about, yeah. And now there's none.
The one behind the fire. Yeah, that's right. The fire department.
I had one down by the fire department.
That's right.
Bruton
Middle School.
Yeah.
For the amount of income and the funding that's in the city of Bruton, I can just about add up enough money for us to have a city park, a city like a fun slide or something like that, but big,
Sure.
Water park, and it will make money. It will pay for itself, in a short amount of time. It will be an investment, but anything's an investment. These kids' futures are an investment. And I see that's going to be one of our main things that we question, because the splash pad, everybody rides by there all the time. Splash pad stays packed.
I was just about to say that. That place.
But the kids outgrow it. It don't benefit for the bigger kids.
The splash pad is good. We're glad that we have it, but that's on a lot smaller scale. There's only so many people.
You want to expand on it.
Right.
Yeah.
And to my understanding, I think the city owns the golf course, correct?
That is correct.
And there's your property there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and it will make money. It will pay for itself, without, and especially right there.
You don't think anybody's looking to get in the water these days where the heat index has been 115 for the last 3 weeks?
Thank you.
Certainly nobody wants to cool off in the water, do they?
Thank you.
I don't know how many of y'all have ever been to Phoenix City. We take our dogs up and train up at Fort Benning, but now they have a city pool there with a very nice water park kind of attached to it. And I mean, very nice. And it is always wrapped up with people. I mean, from young to old, it really, I mean, they've got slides made for the smaller kids. Mm-hmm. They got slides for the bigger kids. Of course, they got a pool that I would say the biggest pool that we had back would be the one behind the old fire department, would it not?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wasn't that probably the biggest one?
It was the biggest one in terms of size.
Well, this pool up there is probably that maybe time and a half that, big. I mean, it's pretty good size, but there's definitely, as Ricky's pointed out, there's definitely, models out there to model that after.
Because you think about it. You think about all that money that we all spend going to Waterville.
Mm-hmm.
That's a long drive.
Fun city.
Fun City in Pensacola. You had the Big Kahuna in
Destin.
Fort Walton Beach, Destin.
Right.
All that money is going out of Bruton.
And I think one of the things that's important to remember, and of course, we talked about it a little bit earlier about finding common ground. There is certainly something that can be done. I'm not saying that they can build a Big Kahunas or something like that. I mean, one of the things that I think that all of us need to prepare ourselves for or guard ourselves against in the political season, they're all going to tell us what we want to hear. Mm-hmm. They do it every 4 years.
That's right.
One of their most basic responsibilities is to be fiscally responsible. Mm-hmm. And it comes down to demographics, how many people can go through there, what they're going to pay to go through there, what's the maintenance, what's the insurance. Mm-hmm. All that's got to go into an equation to find what you can afford. Mm-hmm. There's got to be somewhere where a kid can get in the water and cool off and recreate and have a good time. Mm-hmm. There's no question about that. But one of the things that kind of hits me during the political season are the things you hear. Some of the catchphrases you're going to hear is economic development, jobs, this, that. They've been saying it since 1960. Mm-hmm. 1960. And one of the things that I like to kind of focus on is taking care of what we have now, trying to expand on what we have, kind of working in, going out, as opposed to trying to find that needle in the haystack that'll come in. What community wouldn't? What community would not want to have an industry to come in and have 500 jobs?
That's right.
Every community in the country is trying to get it. Mm-hmm. So the odds of getting it are certainly not in your favor.
Competition is fierce.
Yeah, and you got to fight the fight. I'm not saying don't recruit it and don't try to make it happen, but it's also important to focus on what you have. What do we have that we can make better right now? Can we add 5 jobs here? Can we add 10 jobs here? Whatever it is, and work in that. And one of the things that's very funny to me, and it's always kind of I don't know if it's rubbed me the wrong way or whatnot. On Friday nights at Terra Miller football games, I have a pretty good seat for the games. Mm-hmm. I'm up in the press box on the 50-yard line. There are several people that are running for office across the board who have not been in that stadium in 4 years. Mm-hmm. But come open tonight, how many are going to be there? Every one of them. Every one of them. Don't do it just when it's time to go in there and pull the lever. Mm-hmm. Do it for the next 4 years. Mm-hmm. That's for all of them. That's not directed at any one person or anybody. But I'm just saying, I kind of weigh that also. Are you in it to win it every day, mm-hmm. or is it just when the time gets hot and it's time to get elected? That has always rubbed me the wrong way. That's my personal opinion. But that is and you wait when T.R. Miller cranks it up against Opp in the season opener, mm-hmm. they'll all be there, every one of them, shaking hands, passing out literature, whatever it is, mm-hmm. and it happens all over the country.
Mm-hmm. I know we had a question come in. I think it's a good question. Do any of you think that that you could work with Director Connie Baggett and expand the music and the park and stuff to include everyone, not just a select same group of musicians?
Yes. I do believe so. Connie has been real supportive of Women2Women also. And she did tell me to make sure that we got with her to go over some things like the choo-choo market, start trying to do stuff down there also. So we're looking forward to trying to, bring some activities down in that part of Bruton, so everybody can be a part of, not just over in our community, but to host the citywide.
Sure.
To do some things down there.
Sure.
So we're looking forward to that.
Well, since we're on with you, LaShonda, what you want to kind of go from that question you had asked Ricky about?
What are some of the things that you're kind of looking forward to getting some answers to? And let me say this, and this will kind of wet your beak a little bit. We're having a debate with all of them. Or let me say this: they're all going to be invited.
Yeah, they're right.
We've had 5 that have committed to coming, and we're going to be at one of the eateries or one of the landmarks here in Bruton the next couple of weeks. We're going to have a debate, and we're trying to formulate some questions that people won't ask to get answers from all of them. And they may not all come, but they'll all be invited. What are some of the things that you'd like to see answered or talked about?
Well, basically, everybody talks about the kids and something to do, but my main thing is bringing jobs in. It's a lot of kids in our neighborhood that, if they had a job, then they wouldn't be out doing crazy stuff all the time. McDonald's does interviews every Monday, I believe, every Monday. But it's a problem with McDonald's. Nobody goes down there. We got a little whiff of something, but that'll be another show. But mostly the job thing, and we've heard of the streets being changed, and my thing is I hate the curve at Sour Road, that Zion curve right there, the street. You work on the streets that really don't need to be worked on.
Yeah.
But is it some kind of way that we can get that curve right there?
That's dangerous, is what you're saying.
The one going back towards town?
Yeah.
That is a dangerous
It is
curve.
dangerous.
So, stuff like that is what I think need to be improved in the city. And who's going to work to try to work that thing out? Jobs and the street problem.
What about you, LaWanda?
I think it's the kids. The kids, and for all of them to focus on all the communities, not just one community. Focus on what need did in all the communities. And mostly the kids. My thing is with the kids. There's nothing to do.
Everybody's thing is with the kids. But the jobs got to come too. So those kids going to grow up. They're going to need a job.
But when you find something for the kids to do, that brings on your jobs.
That's right.
Another question come in, and I'll leave it with you, LaWanda, and we'll move down the line here. Would any of you ladies ever entertain running for council or mayor? We have 2 women running now. Do they support? Do y'all support women running for these offices? And are you support who's running now?
Yes, I think it's awesome for women. I would never run. I wouldn't, but I think it's awesome.
Is it because you don't have the time? Is it because it's not something you want to do?
That's not nothing I would want to do.
I'm going to write in Marie Drakeford for mayor.
Okay.
Marie Drakeford for mayor. She'd rule with an iron fist, I can tell you that.
I guarantee.
She's put it upside my head many a times.
I guarantee. But that just as you ladies volunteering, and of course Ricky and their group volunteering and stuff, people don't realize it. The elected officials, well, they may realize it, but elected officials aren't paid a lot of money, not in our local community, to do what they are asked to do. And, so it's not like it's a small responsibility when you get out and start running, for, or if you get elected into one of these offices, it's definitely not a small responsibility. That's for sure.
That's right. You got people coming at you. They want this did. They want that did. I mean, it's so much that they can do.
My dad was mayor here for a long time, and the phone rang literally all night, every night. I remember there was one gentleman, I told you about it. There was a low-lying area in Bruton, which there's several. Yeah. When it's in a hole, when it rains, you know what it does? It fills up with water. Yeah. And there was a guy that called at 11 o'clock one night, and said, Mayor, it's flooding over here at so-and-so. And, of course, it was an area that was prone to old water. And we went over there, and I was in bed. He was so mad, he made me get up and go with him. I was like I think I was in the 11th grade, maybe the 12th grade, and he came in there and got me up. So I remember standing there in the rain, watching the hole fill up with water, and there was standing water everywhere. And I said, Daddy, how long are we going to stand here? And he said, until it stops raining. So about 3 o'clock in the morning, we just sat there and watched it, and he agreed. But the guy just wanted him down there to see it. And so we just stood there from 11 o'clock to 3 o'clock watching it rain. I'll never forget that. nothing you can do. You know, it took a lot of money to put some infrastructure in to do it. But there are some things that you don't have an immediate resolution to it. Of course, you know, everybody's problem is the most important problem. And I'll never forget that.
We had a question come in. Do y'all still need school supplies?
Yes, we need school supplies, uniforms, any donations.
Kids are getting school supplies Saturday. Is that correct? Is it the first 50 kids that come there, or is there hope to be enough to satisfy all the kids, or how's that going to be done?
We get enough for everybody. At least every child to leave there with something.
With something. That's awesome.
Yes.
Another question we had is, and we may have already talked about this. What is the food giveaway about that Mr. Naughty is having on Saturday?
I saw that on Facebook.
Yeah, it's a food drive at Zion Fountain.
Yeah.
Right there in that curve.
Right
that
there, yeah.
church right there.
Is that Saturday?
That's Saturday. It starts at 9.
Okay, so he's going to try to get his done, and then hope everybody will come on down and partake there at Sportsman's Club.
Now, is it a food drive to bring food, or
He's giving it away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I listen. That's a way to kick the day off.
I think he's sponsoring the cook-off also.
That's
Mr.
right. And we
Naughty.
really
Naughty Seasonings, I think, is
Yes.
sponsoring the cook-off.
We wanted to give a big shout out to Mr. Naughty's Seasoning, Southern Seasoning.
Didn't I see on Facebook where you helped with the kickball league with the refreshments at the concession stand one time also?
Yes.
Yeah.
He bought plenty of water and Gatorade.
That's right. And we do want to thank Jim Peach. They did a tremendous job. They're going to donate us some balloons and
Awesome.
Uniforms. We're going to get uniforms out of the donation that they gave us.
That's great.
And hopefully we can get a couple of signs from them.
We can probably work that out. We're gonna try to work that out.
Okay.
Yeah, that's and we're gonna come donate some more because we're gonna come down there and buy up a bunch of food Saturday. I can tell you that right now.
And Ricky, I want to bring you back in real quick. Of course, we all see it. Anybody that volunteers their time sees it up close and personal. Talk about the people, and not naming names here, but the number of people who go without. And if it was, you know, sometimes you can kind of turn your eye to it and act like it's not a problem, but it is. I mean, whether it's young people or kids eating or having the clothing they need, some of the basic needs just to get along. There's a lot of people that hurt out there. There's a lot of people that go without, and anytime these things can take place to help lessen that load a little bit, I mean, you're helping change lives when you do that.
That's right. It's always good to give back. I was raised up, like I said, in a single parent home, a lot less fortunate than most others. And like I tell my guys all the time, you know, most of our guys are in a position where we can afford to give back. And I focused on that a lot because I've been there, done that. And I think that's what a lot of people do. A lot of people are in better positions now than they grew up in. And it's I'm not saying it's your right, but
Sure.
You should give back.
Absolutely. There's no question about that.
You're correct. There's a lot of people out there that still don't have decent shoes to wear to school or decent pants or decent shirts, and that go to Miller. I went to Miller, and there's a lot of Millers. A lot of people think Miller, oh, they snooty and snotty and uppity and whatnot. I went to Miller. I was far from snooty, and I'm the same person now that I was then.
Sure.
But a lot of people are still hurting, and we actually had a youth rally one time, and you know, we wind up a little after that giving out school supplies and things like that, and it's just seeing the expression on the kid's face when they get something from a complete stranger because they don't know you, and just, you know, they're just so excited. Anytime you see a kid being excited about anything, I mean, it gives you a warm feeling to know that, you know, I made a difference in that child's life, and which a lot of people don't know, but most of the things that we donate and things like that comes out of our pockets.
Absolutely.
You know, we don't, unfortunately, you know, we don't have the donations and things like that. It comes out of our pockets.
Well, it's out there. Tell you from experience.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody, you know, this is Wednesday, and of course our event's Saturday. If somebody's watching this show tonight or watches it tomorrow, you know, on in the archives or whatnot, if they wanted to contribute right now, if somebody wanted to pick up the phone and say, hey, I want to put $100 towards school supplies, who do they contact?
They can contact me or LaShonda Watson.
Okay.
Our number's on that. I think our number's on that flyer.
Okay.
But if not, 251-727-2688 is mine, and 251-809-4268.
There they are.
And we'll be at the ballpark, like I say, tomorrow and Friday. So if somebody want to come out there and drop things off, we'll be out there at 6 o'clock.
So they can go
Well, let's
buy. They go buy items and bring them to the ballpark tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah, let's why don't we get out there and let's try to make this thing a big deal.
It's going to be a big deal.
Oh, I'm saying.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
If you're out there watching this and want to get in and help donate or what have you, I'm sure they would take any of the help they could get. What time tomorrow? I got a text.
6 p.m.
6 o'clock. Okay. I somebody said they had some markers and glue sticks and things such as that they could bring by.
And I think I'm right on this. The kids can't take backpacks to school anymore, can they?
No.
So if you're wanting to help, don't necessarily help in that way, right?
The elementary.
Am I wrong?
Elementary school can take backpacks, can't they?
Not no more. Not the middle school no more.
The middle school, but the elementary school kids, the smaller kids, can take backpacks.
Okay, so you could bring a backpack if you want to get school supplies. We're talking about construction paper. Is that what we're talking about? Markers, pens, notebooks, whatever.
School supply list and just grab some things off the list.
Yeah.
Right.
And we're trying to help both schools. So if you can donate some uniforms, some
Yeah.
shirts, pants,
Yeah, sure.
we're trying to help both schools.
That's right, because Miller's Elementary School,
They pay.
they pay $35, I
I think
believe.
it's 40.
$40, and the parents don't have to buy any school supplies for them.
Okay.
They just pay that money. But we have Cheryl Miller Middle School, Neal Elementary School, all their schools, Neal schools take everything. But elementary school here over at Cheryl Miller does not. So we won't be giving them anything. But what we will do for those kids, we have, we're getting free haircuts for the guys.
Free hairdos.
And free hairdos. We're going to pull tickets for those kids.
Me and Ricky can get our guy to hook them up.
I could use a touch up.
I bet get one too, Rick.
Yeah. So we're going to do...
If somebody wanted to buy some school uniforms, where in town can you go to get that done? Or is it
Walmart.
just to get the school colors? They wear the blue and gold, I guess, and white.
No, the royal blue and the white.
Royal blue and white.
And the khaki pants.
Khaki pants. Okay.
Well, ladies, thank y'all for coming in.
Awesome.
What a great night, and what a great day. That sounds like it's going to be this coming Saturday. What time does the festivities kick off? Again, I know we've talked about this.
10:30.
10:30.
That's right.
Until
Dusk dark.
Until dusk dark. So if you're looking for a good time this weekend, you're looking for some good food, good entertainment, you want to watch a bunch of policemen run around, sound like firemen as well, and see a bunch of nice motorcycles and
Chance to win $500.
chance to win and cakewalks. And I'm more excited about that than I am anything else.
Is there an age limit for the cakewalk? I mean, everybody.
Anybody can get in.
Can we also thank Mayor Lovelace for everything he's done for us throughout this whole planning of this, and the city of Bruton. We thank them so much for everything that they've done.
Sportsman Club.
Very good.
Very good. Well, listen, we hope to see you there this Saturday. Family
Fun Day.
Family Fun Day. Sportsman's Park ought to be a big, big time. Again, we appreciate everybody tuning in tonight, and we'll be back next week.
Maybe.
But we know we're coming back.
We're coming back.
And we're fixing to go mobile with this big debate. We hope to see you ladies come out to the debate and help us ask some questions of that for sure. So for David Jennings, Ken James, Women2Women,
Prophecy
MC, Ricky Nettles, what do you like to say, DJ?
It's the bottom line.
Is that what it is?
Bottom. We're gonna get to it.
What does he always say?
Stay classy.
Stay classy, Bruton.
DJ, how about
The Bottom Line was brought to you by Bossman Productions. The views expressed by call-in guests or in-studio guests are not necessarily those of The Bottom Line, the host, Bossman Productions, other advertisers, or any affiliate of The Bottom Line. The Bottom Line is for entertainment purposes only.